Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by City Manager Mark Roloff. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including items from city departments and things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight some items from the upcoming Tuesday, May 10th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in City Manager Mark Roloff. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Great to be here, Andy.
All right. Well, we have a lot of different topics today, a lot of things of interest to our residents here. And one thing is that the Oshkosh Police Department has some sort of cutting-edge technology that is really enhancing their training.
It's a great training tool, but it's also really cool. Mm-hmm. This is virtual reality training that can simulate situations that our officers are expected to be able to respond to. And so they're put in these interactive real-life scenarios. And the instructor, Todd Rogge there, he can choose which type of call for service that the officer is responding to. And then the officer has to demonstrate his or her skills in all these different areas. You know, some of the bigger ones are de-escalation techniques,
right,
communication, active listening, decision-making, judgment, and problem solving. So all those things that we expect them to do. So they put them in these situations and they have to figure out a way to act appropriately and make sure the situation stays as safe as possible.
Right. And I know that they have several different types of environments that the officer can be placed into. I think it was 25 or so. And, different types of people that they're working with, and they can really simulate a whole lot of different types of situations.
It's just amazing, the technology. And, my understanding for this type of system, we're the first ones in Wisconsin to have it.
That's correct.
And it's probably the most sophisticated system that's out there right now available for police departments. So we're really proud of that, but we're also very appreciative because the JEK Foundation was the group working with some additional support from the Oshkosh Area Community Foundation. Mm-hmm. This system is valued at $60,000, Andy. So this isn't just some little computer disk you pop in. This is something that is very sophisticated, very helpful for our employees. Right.
And it will be used in addition to the police department's regular training. So they'll mix it in and use it for things that they otherwise might not be able to do.
Yeah, we're so pleased that we're able to offer this for our officers, and I think the public will appreciate that we are thinking of the many situations that our officers can get placed in to make sure that they're best prepared, that when these situations arrive, they're ready to respond appropriately.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, likewise, we have had some news over at our Oshkosh Fire Department, and they recently had their Recruit Academy graduation.
Well, we got to show love to both police and fire to keep them both happy with us. But yeah, and I was able to participate in the Fire Recruit graduation ceremony. One of the really cool things is that we are currently working with the Neenah-Menasha Fire Department, so we actually put our recruits through school together. Our training folks and the Neenah-Menasha training folks basically share responsibilities to train people, which actually makes it a lot more efficient. So we're real pleased that we're able to do that. That certainly saves a lot of money, and we have many vacancies in the fire service, and so this was able to fill a lot of vacancies. And I'll tell you a little more later, we got a lot of vacancies still, but this Recruit Academy gives us the ability to get our folks, when they hit the streets, they hit it running. And one of the great statements I heard is, it's not a matter of training until they get it right. It's training until they never get it wrong. That's the standard that our fire department holds, and I have an incredible amount of respect and admiration for the work that they do. So happy that they're sworn in. All of them have worked at least one shift already since graduation. So we want to welcome aboard and wish them a happy and safe career with us.
Okay, and they become probationary firefighters? Is that the first step?
They're probationary right now, but they're doing the real deal. They're doing things right now. And we have a fire and an EMS department. So they're providing both of those services, which doesn't happen in every community, but we've got a very regimented training system, and they passed it, and so congrats to them.
Okay, indeed. Congratulations to all involved. All right, we also are in the season of road construction, and we have several construction projects that are underway around the city. I think a lot of folks that drive around downtown are well aware of Algoma Boulevard.
Well, yeah, take a spin around the city and just see what we've got going on with construction. Yeah, Algoma is probably the biggest one for the year, going right through the university area. Utility work continues the full length of Algoma Boulevard, so you cannot drive through the university in a straight line these days. So please look for the detour routes, follow them. Right now, curb and gutter is getting installed on High Avenue and Vine Avenue, and so you're going to see some disruptions there. I want to thank the residents. They've been very patient. This is not convenient at all to those folks.
Right.
So if you can avoid the area because you don't live there, it's my advice and my plea to avoid the area so that the residents can get in and out of there, because it can be disruptive.
Absolutely. And also the Oshkosh Media Facebook page, as well as the Oshkosh Government Facebook page, will keep you updated on any last-minute changes with traffic patterns and things like that. Okay, there's also a project, Oregon Street and Fond du Lac Road, a sanitary interceptor, and I thought this was maybe from last year, this project?
It is. This is still the final items because of staffing shortages with various contractors that we use, as well as, we hear the word again, supply chain, in terms of materials that were ready to be used, piping, things like that. We're just now finishing that project up. It kind of looks like it's a project for this year, but actually it's finishing up last year. There's still a little bit of inconvenience there on Oregon Street, maybe not as much around Fond du Lac Avenue as previous, but please be aware that those are in the final stages, so that'll be done soon.
Okay, and I understand that this project will be continuing in its next phase?
Right, the 2022 phase has yet to be started, and unfortunately, because of supply chain issues, primarily sewer pipe, we're not estimating that we're going to get the piping delivered to us until September.
Okay.
So we probably won't even start the next phase of this project until early fall, and cross our fingers that we can keep working throughout the winter. But it's going to be very disruptive. So you're used to seeing construction traffic in the summer. In a few weeks, it'll all be gone. It'll take the summer off and then come back in the fall. But as soon as we get the sewer pipe, we're going to start that project. So be on the lookout. We'll be letting you know as time goes on. But right now, we're probably figuring September.
Okay. And then also closer to Central City, we have East Lincoln Avenue and Rosalia Street reconstruction. So there's a lot happening in those areas as well.
Yeah, mostly residential area. Rosalia Street is purely a residential area, but it's a big water main project that's going from our water filtration plant. So the contractor's installing water main, sewer main, storm sewer, all on Lincoln Avenue. That they're pretty busy on that right now. Rosalia isn't that disrupted right now, but certainly be prepared for that, because when that gets dug, it's like a 16-inch water main on Rosalia, so that's going to be big and deep. So look out for that. But you can subscribe to our construction updates by going to our Public Works website. Give you an update every Friday so you know what to look for the upcoming week. I subscribe to it myself, so I don't have to call Public Works and find out what's going on. It really is the most up-to-date information, so much so that I use it myself.
And it's very detailed.
Oh yeah, it gives you tons of detail. And there are also some simplified versions. They cut to the chase, so you know exactly what to expect for the upcoming week.
Okay, well, good to know. All right, another thing that recently happened in Oshkosh on April 28th, I believe it was, the 150th Arbor Day celebration.
Yeah, it wasn't the 150th for us, but for us it was the 41st year that we've been recognized as a Tree City USA. So for 41 years we've been recognizing Arbor Day, and we were fortunate enough to have the fifth graders from Carl Traeger Elementary there assisting us in a lot of ways. And you were out there too, Andy. You saw it was, the kids were so enthusiastic. It was cool and windy, but they kept their spirits up. Travis Dirks, our brand new city forester, was out there doing a great job of explaining to the students the what and whys of the value of trees and how to do a tree planting. And then at the end of the whole process, Wisconsin Public Service, which was recognized for their contributions to work to keep trees and power lines in balance, they donated a tree to every single kid there. So there were like 83 students that were given what are called power-friendly saplings that they could take home and plant themselves. So great opportunity for the kids to learn a little something and then take something home and put Arbor Day into practice.
And the mayor read a proclamation, and there were some other festivities involved with that as well.
Yeah, Mayor Paul Marion read the proclamation, presented it to the Traeger principal, and then some folks from the Department of Natural Resources recognized us for our 41st straight Tree City USA Award. So the mayor and I were very happy to receive that, the flag that we're going to fly very proudly throughout the city.
Very good. All right, it was a great program. Also, another program in Oshkosh is the Great Neighborhoods program. We take a lot of pride in our neighborhoods, and the application cycle for those Great Neighborhoods program grants is open now through June 6th.
This is a great program. It's really designed to enhance the image, the market, the physical conditions of our neighborhoods. And so we're looking for those applications. We're in collaboration with city staff. The residents can initiate, plan, and implement projects. This is part of the city's capital improvement program. I'll give you a couple examples of things that have been going on in past years. The William Waters Plaza, that whole redesign was funded with the Great Neighborhoods program. The Sea Sand Sailor Land Playground improvement, I believe that was Menominee South Neighborhood Association. They had that one put in. Crosswalk improvements over at the Ferry Crossing neighborhood, and then Middle Village Community Garden. Some great projects, and if you want to be part of that, we certainly welcome you to apply, and you can contact Planning Services for more information, and that number's there on your screen, 920-236-5126.
Okay, and we encourage folks to get involved in their neighborhood associations. There are several around the city, and the city's website also has a map with all of those associations. Okay, we also have the Menominee Park Zoo is opening on May 7th.
Yeah, it's going to be open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. On June 1st, Wildlife Wednesdays begin. There's a special program every Wednesday throughout the summer. The Lakefly Cafe isn't going to open until Saturday, May 28th during Memorial Day weekend. But we want to encourage families to come. And so whether you wait until June for the Wildlife Wednesdays, it's a lot of fun. I drove by the zoo last night. The animals are all there.
They're there.
So if you want to do window shopping on the exterior, you can do that. But you're certainly welcome to come May 7th. And again, through the generosity of the Tom and Penny Herrenberg Foundation, this admission to our zoo remains free. So thanks to Tom and Penny Herrenberg for their wonderful generosity to make that all possible.
It's another wonderful asset that Oshkosh has. And speaking of the zoo is part of the Parks Department, and the Parks Department has several events that happen throughout the year, and they're looking for volunteers for those events.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of activity with some of our footage that we're going to show here, but a lot of that activity doesn't happen without some great dedicated volunteers. So if you want to give Kathy Snell a call at 920-232-5304, Kathy would be more than happy to sign you up for any number of events that we have to have. These volunteer positions can be game and activities coordinator, food and beverage, servers, greeters, and just many, many more. But our volunteers really help things like Zuluing Boo, successful. The Easter egg hunt that we just recently held. All those programs and events that we do, they benefit the beautification efforts and maintenance of our park facilities. So please consider signing up for that, and let Kathy know, and we'll be happy to hook you up with a volunteer opportunity.
Certainly. Give Kathy Snell a call at 232-5304, and she'd be very happy to sign you up for an upcoming event. All right, and then another note is that we have our sanitation department spring cleanup is in progress, and that's for your yard waste and brush.
Yeah, it's going to be scheduled now through May 13th on your garbage collection day. So that's extended brush collection schedule to help residents get rid of waste as they're doing their spring cleaning outside, and we'll give you curb pickup for that, curbside pickup. The brush includes tree branches, leaves, hedge clippings, garden debris, just no grass, dirt, root balls, or stumps. That's really about the only limitations. There's a lot of stuff there. The brush should be in biodegradable bags or bundled up and tied. And we got tons of information on the city's website, but now through May 13th, you can put those out on your garbage day.
Okay, very good. We also wanted to pass a note along that the Memorial Day procession will have a new route this year due to the reconstruction of Algoma Boulevard.
Yeah, it's just for this year because Algoma is so torn up. But we're going to start over at Oshkosh North High School and go over to Smithdown to Vinland, over to Murdoch, and then back on the remainder of the traditional route on Algoma that will get us to Riverside Cemetery. And both the names of the reading of names at the South Park War Monument and the laying of the wreath for those lost at sea at Riverside Park will continue to take place as well as is customary. But just be aware that this will be the route if you want to bring your family to send your well wishes to those who have fallen in times of war. This is a great opportunity to show your respect to those folks.
And just a side note that Oshkosh Media will be televising the procession. It will not be shown live, but it will be shown in replays on Oshkosh Media Gov TV. All right, and then just another quick note, Mark. The City Finance Department, the utility billing and collections will be closed on Thursday, May 12th for just a short period of time.
Yeah, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. It's in-service training. Typically, those folks are always there all throughout the day, and they don't have an opportunity to get together as a team. This is just for them. So just give us if you can be a little more understanding on that date, May 12th from 11 to 12:30. We still have the drop box in front of City Hall that you can drop off something, pay your bill or something, parking tickets, anything like that. Hopefully it won't be too inconvenient. Okay, all right. And then also please remember to like and follow the City of Oshkosh government Facebook page, and that closure in the finance department there will be one of the items that would be posted there. So if you'd like updates on things like that and other traffic and other types of things, please like the City of Oshkosh government Facebook page. All right, Mark, I think that's about the time we have for the first half of the show. And then if you stay tuned, stay with us for some highlights from the upcoming Common Council meeting agenda. And we'll be right back.
Holding a phone takes precious attention away from the road. That's why handheld cell phone use is now illegal in Wisconsin work zones, and fines start at $40. Driving deserves your undivided attention. It's about safety for workers and for all motorists. So when you see orange cones, please put down the phone. The Wisconsin DOT urges you to help us achieve 0 deaths on Wisconsin roads.
And welcome back to the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig along with City Manager Mark Roloff. Let's turn our attention to the agenda items from the upcoming May 10th Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And Mark, it looks like we start off the meeting with a couple of proclamations.
Yeah, normally I don't talk too much about the proclamations, but you have to forgive me for being a little selfish in this case. There are 2 recognitions regarding our great public employees. First one is National Public Works Week, recognizing all the folks who are out there on the roads. We just saw a PSA about being careful in work zones. those are our folks who are out in work zones doing those types of things, and we want to recognize them for the work they do to keep our roads clear in the winter, patched, and just in good, generally good condition. And then the second one is one that's often overlooked, and it's a Professional Municipal Clerks Week. And with everything going on with elections, I think people don't necessarily appreciate the value that municipal clerks do for our community and their entire staff. We have a new city clerk, and she was excited to recognize the employees that she's inherited that just do a great job. And I can assure you that our elections are taken care of in a very professional manner with the utmost of integrity. And I personally want to salute the clerks and appreciate the mayor willing to do recognition for our municipal clerks as well as our public works employees.
And I work with those folks as well, and I appreciate everything that they do. They're a great help to me and other staff here as well. So then we get into our consent agenda, and it looks like we have an item relating to a financial agreement with the Wisconsin DOT, and this is for some reconstruction of South Main Street.
Well, first thing, I don't want to get people too worked up because the DOT and the city are, the Department of Transportation, working in advance to prepare for future street projects. We are looking at reconstructing South Main Street from the Main Street Bridge to 16th Avenue. But before you get too worked up, we're planning ahead for 2030. So we're still 8 years away from doing this. But we need to do a lot of coordination because we've got other projects going on in the immediate area, and we want to make sure that they get well coordinated. So what this does is the Department of Transportation then begins the planning process, whether it's acquiring right-of-way, because the road will definitely be wider in this area, and anything else that may need to get done in the intervening years before that happens. So this just shows you that we work well in advance to get a lot of these street projects done.
There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
There sure are.
All right. Well, then we also have an item. We're looking at vacating a portion of East 8th Avenue, and I understand this is part of a larger project over in that area.
Yeah, it's the same area. It's the Sawdust District, but this is the development that's actually occurring on the east side of South Main Street. So part of that, you can see the proposed development there, and East 8th Avenue goes right through the heart of that development. And we're going to be extending 9th Avenue. As you can see from this drawing, we're going to extend 9th Avenue over to Pioneer Island. So we really don't have the need for East 8th Avenue anymore,
right,
and it'll become part of the development. So we have to go through a very lengthy process to vacate the property. Technically, we own it still, but eventually, our redevelopment agency actually owns it. They'll eventually turn it over to T-Wall Enterprises, which is the developer that was selected for this process. So this is the beginning of that process to begin working on that development. Real excited about what that's going to mean, and you'll keep hearing about that as we move on with that project.
Right. It's a very exciting development over there. We also have a special event coming up. Waterfest is back this year, and they have quite a few dates this year. Yeah,
they have 9 dates established for this coming season. So, depending on what type of artist you enjoy, you'll have to check out the Chamber's Waterfest website. But here are the dates, and they start June 9th, and they run all the way through August 25th. So you can see we're going to have 2.5 months of a lot of great programming. Waterfest is probably one of the best outdoor concerts in the state, and we are happy to collaborate with the Chamber to make this happen at the Leach Amphitheater. So keep your eyes out for it as we move on in the near future.
It's also an award-winning venue, I know. So
yes, it did. The Oshkosh Herald recognized it as the best outdoor venue in the community, and I'm not going to disagree with that statement.
I wouldn't argue with it either. All right, very good. Then later in the agenda, we have new resolutions, and we have our annual borrowing.
Yeah, this is, there's actually 2 separate resolutions to take care of all the details with it. But you may recall from our last meeting, the City Council, because they want to try to take advantage of getting the best rates possible, because as we know, rates are going up. That's certainly going to impact us, and we want to make sure that we're taking advantage of this. So Council said not only are we going to do What they were planning to do is close to $23 million in borrowing. They're going to do another $7.3 million in borrowing that we were planning to do in 2023. We're going to borrow early, hopefully take advantage of better rates than they will be a year from now, and put some of the 2023 projects that we really have high confidence that we're going to do anyway, because they're in our capital improvement program. We've been planning them for years, getting those borrowed for, and they're ready to go when the time comes. And hopefully we'll save a little money in the process.
So that $7.3 million, that's really some foresight, trying to get ahead of those higher interest rates and save some money for everybody.
That was a big priority for council, and I appreciate their foresight in being able to say this is something we want to do to save taxpayers money.
Very good. Okay. And then later in the agenda, we have another item. We're taking a look at the Jackson-Oregon Street Bridge again, and there was a workshop back in April about that.
Yeah, the council received a presentation from the Department of Transportation. The Jackson-Oregon Street Bridge is due to have some work done on it in 2028, 2029. And we want to get that project done before the DOT starts working on South Main Street, as we talked about earlier. So here's the current condition of the bridge. There are multiple options out there. One is to just do a rehabilitation of the bridge and just buy another 25 years out of it. Quite frankly, I don't know if I'm going to be able to support that one. There are different options on either a bridge that is a full span that doesn't have an opening, or a bridge opening, certainly consistent with what we have now. They all have different impacts, and the council's going to hear that. By the 14th, I expect staff will be making a recommendation on which option that the DOT has presented to us that we want to pursue.
Okay, all right, we'll keep an eye on that one as well. All right, and then under your city manager announcements and statements, we have an item. We're looking at the staffing shortages and that the impact that has to services in the city.
We have a large number of vacancies. I just got a report from our Human Resources Department that lists 31 vacancies in the city right now. That's more than 5% of our full-time workforce. That's how many vacancies we currently have. And I'll just give you a few examples because I want to explain it's not just singing the blues about it. It's number one, it's a recruiting tool. We are hiring for many, many different positions. And we certainly ask you to take a look at our website if you're interested in a job or if you know someone who may be interested in a job. But let me give you a few examples. One, our forestry division. We have 7 people in our forestry division. We currently have 3 vacancies. So they're the ones who are, cutting down, unfortunately, the emerald ash borer infested ash trees that we have to, and Andy, you and I both know, and on our respective streets, we've been impacted by that. It's all over the city. So that's just one example. So we're almost 50% down in that one area. Field operations, our streets, our the folks we just celebrated with the proclamation, we're down 7 positions. That's 25% of that workforce. Now, that may not be so bad right now. Right now, we're in street patching season. We're not in snow plowing season, but we are having a problem right now. Part of it is because the private sector is hiring those folks away, and they right now can command a greater rate in the private sector than they can in the public sector. I was real proud of that fire department graduation.
Right.
Even after the graduation, we have 4 vacancies. And that's just turnover with staff retiring and things like that. Meanwhile, a lot of summer help were down because over at Menominee Park, the rides, we may not be able to do the rides this summer. That's how bad it could be. We may have to trim hours at Pollock Pool, and then landscaping help. So these are examples of vacancies we have. So we're going to tell council about it and certainly want the public to know it may impact services, and we just want to let you know in advance.
And we'd like to remind folks as well that they can visit the City of Oshkosh website, and there are all the job postings there as well as the application process. So we'll continue to update folks on social media as well. Well, Mark, I think that's about the time we have today. Thanks for your insights.
Always happy.
Okay, very good. And thank you for joining us today. Again, that Oshkosh Common Council meeting is coming up at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May 10th at City Hall, which is 215 Church Avenue. You can watch it live on GovTV, Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. So please join us again in 2 weeks for another City Managers Report. Thanks for watching.